I like talking to her because she's very organic, just like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so much stuff, we're live on Facebook, but we're not going to roll the show out yet. But I mean, it's like, there's so much spaceships, starships, galactic, star family, divine essences, angels, devils, demons, beauty, beasts, elementals. It's like just kind of like overwhelming. And then you talk to someone like Vera and it just brings you back down to the organic, I saw somebody put a post up that a friend of theirs had channeled, and it was just basically saying, don't come out of the ethers, and don't forget to come out of the ethers and the higher dimensions and be human. So that's
the whole part of it. That's a whole big essence of my own embodiment, my own what comes through me. It seems to be an important focus. To me, is like I said to you last time we chatted, I think, about, I love your human is the hero. As I said, to me for years, it's been, it's within our humanity that lay our divinity, and within our divinity that lay our humanity. Yeah. And it's somehow the realization, I mean, not as a concept, but as an actual direct experience, that in a sense, they're just two aspects of one thing.
Yeah.
But that if you try to go too far into either one, then you somehow miss the mark, or you stop expanding. You kind of get stuck on a side road. There's as many sort of places to set up camp, as Ajashani says, on the way up the mountain, as there also are coming down. And one of them is to stay stuck up on the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that to me is huge, and that's something that's coming through now about how I've really clearly seen. And when Om and I were chatting one day, a couple of months ago, I think we were so clearly seeing how all of the codes coming in, all of the energy coming into the grids, all of the codes, and I mean, there's just more and more and more and more, and it's every day. But what we clearly saw was like, oh. It's like we're kind of tweaking and adjusting them on the fly. It's kind of like it rams down through, goes into the earth, the grids, and the collective. And it's like we're the ones here in the physical human bodies carrying the DNA and all these different soul fractals. And we're the ones here with the boots on the ground. So it's kind of like we're the ones that are, in a way, we adjust the codes, we tweak them on the fly, we get the feedback from the grids and the thing, and then we actually, and that's what they were saying, they're like, yeah, you're the ones that are there with boots on the ground, with DNA, with the fractals, with the codes. You know how to, we pour it in, but there is some slight little tweaks, I don't know how to put it, tweaks, frequency adjustments or something, and that's the flow. It just, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. It does make sense. It's like what we were trying to explain this morning on that show with Vera. Welcome to Soul Speaks 5D, Ged Riverstone. It's been a long time coming. Thank you for sharing space with us, honoring us with your presence. Welcome everybody. Yvonne, Kristen, Skiba, Heather Nielsen, Barbie Steiner, Richard Penna, Valerie Peterman, Wendy Hall, Umstead, Trish Riley, and many more. Please, if these shows resonate, please share, as we're starting to get a little bit of suppression again. Notifications aren't going out, so on. And if these shows resonate, please consider gifting us with the support, contributions, so we can keep doing this. That's what we were talking about this morning. It's like, and even yesterday, Katie Indigro, talking about how the books are passé now. The books don't apply anymore. And it's like it's happening, like you said, we're tweaking it in the moment by moment. And that's the new book right there. That's the new template, Like they gave us whatever they can give us, or whatever that is, our aspects give us whatever they can. We're receiving it, and then we're converting it. By our own.
That's a great word. That's a great word. Yeah, and it's kind of like, these are high tech, organic tech for the win. This is the highest tech in the universe. Well, relatively around this quadrant anyway. And these are like the best biofeedback units. I mean, just for ourselves personally, with our own process.
Yeah.
and then microcosmos, macrocosmos, also for then our soul family, our soul group, our soul tribe, the whole collective. And that's what they are. I think they're just amazing biofeedback units. If we, and that's a whole part of the embodiment as well, as part of the process. We need to listen to our bodies and to our emotions, energy and motion. You know, that's something that's coming through. I mean, that's nothing new, but I mean, I know you've talked about this a lot, but I'm just getting prompted to speak about it again, is the range and depth of emotion that human beings experience is rare and unusual as far as in the galactics and races. And in one way, it's a double-edged sword. And within duality or the matrix, it's been used in many ways, in a sense, against us. Pumping the fear and all of that, and then in another way suppressing all of the other emotions. But to me, it's actually one of our greatest gifts, and it's the key to unlocking our full true potential, is to unlock all of that energy in motion in the flow of the now. And I think we're well underway in the process. I think we're on the point of absolute collective.
I think you know what? I just went to the park to take a quick break, and I was having that same download. And let me just say this: what you're saying is the perfect example of the incredible, infinite wisdom, the paradoxical method of the universe. So our greatest weakness is our greatest strength, and that's a trip. But I was at the park, and I started getting this download, and it was like, and it brought in this emotion of like reverence, almost to the point of fright. As I was like, it was all starting to make sense to me. Like it's all starting to make sense. Like this thing, even on a collective scale, even what we all share in this experience that goes on in the global and all that stuff, it just came to me that something huge. It's we've been saying this, it's getting closer. It feels like, people are talking about the event and all this stuff, and I really don't buy any of that, but like something is right there, right in front of us, about to just mushroom cloud above us, just explode. That's what I got. It's 20 minutes ago.
I think everybody's feeling it. I want to keep going with that. I just want to quickly say hello to and love to all that are there, and I feel them all gathering. And I want to say that, there's quite a few of my, well, they're all soul tribe ultimately, but there's quite a few of my soul family I know we're planning to be here. My dearly beloved soul family, that we all help each other get through the dark nights of the soul occasionally. But I just want to say hi to everyone and let you know I don't have Facebook on, so I've not seen the comments. One, because it will interfere with my Zoom stream, and two, I'm really terrible at, if I try to watch chat, I can't do that and kind of like be here and just flow at the same time. So I will go back and look at them all later. But if anybody's addressing something to me, I just want to say I'm not ignoring you. I'm just not seeing it, because I can't. I'm not very good at I can like multi-dimensional task like crazy now, it seems, but I'm still crap at multitasking. So I just wanted to say that. But on that point, yeah, all what I'm hearing, seeing, feeling, sensing in my own being, and what I'm hearing, feeling, seeing around from out there, as well as my own soul family, soul group, everybody's feeling it. Everybody is aware. And how can I put it? I'm not into, oh no, I'm not against it. But I get you. I'm sort of the same. I'm not really into the event and set dates and that whole thing as such. Right. I think that all serves a purpose. So I'm not knocking it. But what I could say is that in some way, shape or form, since I was, well, forever, since I was little, well, I'm still little, but really, I've known about this time. I've known about something and what, and it's just words, but it doesn't matter. You can call it the event, but I'd call it the Great Awakening. Yeah. And I don't like to say where we're at, it's the event, da da da. I don't know. I don't want to put anything more to it, but what I feel and sense, and what I feel and sense is that we were absolutely already in, as well as on the verge. It's been building, I mean, all this year, but in these last weeks, building more and more and more. And I feel that in a way where it's on the cusp of absolutely peaking. I body surf a lot, and you learn to know you need to catch a wave just as it's breaking, just before it breaks. And that's my best analogy I can give for the energy at the moment, is I can feel all of my being and sensing tells me that there is a huge wave that is just about to break. And exactly what that is and how it looks and that, I don't know. But all I could say is I know it's awesome. And I think it's to date, a quantum leap breakthrough. And we've had some major ones over the years and more. But for me, this, can I say this is the big one? I wouldn't say that, but all I can say is it's the biggest we're ready for. And I feel like it's going to be awesome, amazing, rather than, I'm not into cataclysmic and doom and stuff. So anyway, sorry, I'll stop there.
No, that's good. I mean, that's so it's like a lot of people have written, talked about, we're here, it's happened. I think that actually what I'm getting is that happened, it happened, whatever, at an energetic level, and then what I'm feeling, or like what I started feeling 20 minutes ago at the park, was that the physical, the linear, is aligning with that now. Like I don't know, what I'm feeling is like, it's not just like what you're feeling, what I'm feeling. You said everybody's feeling it, but also the actual mirror of it in the external somehow. Like I don't know if it has to do, and I don't follow any of that stuff. I don't have to do with Trump, white hats in the deep state, 9/11 trials, and secret indictments, and I don't know. But there's something like in me saying, okay, there's going to be solid evidence, that type that intuitively you just know. None of this, hey, the paper said this and the president said that, or no, it's just like everyone's going to know. Like, I don't know. That's it just came in. So I can't, there's no coincidences. And then
I totally agree. I feel like, to me, in essence, really probably since summer solstice last year, I mean, really this year, there's still been huge clearing, purging, that's ongoing. I mean, to me, the merge is the purge. To me, the
purge brings the merge. Yeah.
Somehow the two aspects of the one thing. And to me, that I feel like, okay, that's what comes to me. One of my absolute dearest, always have tears when I think of her. She's right here now. One of my dearest ever soul sisters was a Native American. She came out and lived here, beautiful soul. And she used to make many things, amazing medicine objects, but she used to make dream catchers. And she said to me once years ago that, the dream catcher is about like catching the dream or the vision and then bringing it into reality. And she said, if you look at the dream catcher, from the outside of it, near the edge, the weave is a lot looser. There's more gap. But she said, as you go closer and closer into the center, into that hole in the center where the dream actually pops through and comes through to be danced awake into reality, she said that weave gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And I feel like that's where we're very much at, is where we're literally in the lip. But what I'm getting to, I get this thing where it's like our future selves are meeting our past selves. It's like we're already there. We've already done it. We're on the other side. The energy is all there. As you said, all of the energy in the grids is there. This year to me has been about actually truly dancing it awake into the physical, into the embodiment, seeing it actually change and manifest and play out in the so-called matrix reality. We're dissolving and merging that into the more organic, natural matrix.
Yeah.
And that to me is what it's about. And we're at that point of, we literally are dancing awake that dream. And to me, we're right in that point of the now. I don't just mean in that metaphorical kind of sense. I mean, even more literal, that we're very much in the midst, if we want to call it the event or the great awakening. To me, it's happening now. We're in the absolute midst of it and the cusp of it. And we're at this very point where the future and the past are meeting and merging. All timelines are meeting and merging. All of our multidimensionality is opening up more and more and more. And, you know, I just sense that basically the pop or the bingo moment for the collective. I mean, if I had to put any words to it at all, and don't, well, you know what I mean. But if I had to try and put any words, some kind of words or concept to it at all, really, it's like I would call it the great awakening, the words that fit the most. And I would say that there was some sort of a collective popping, a collective enlightenment. And it doesn't mean every single person on the planet is going to do that. No, but I feel that enough individuals already have, many I know, and many are ripe. It's in their soulness signature already, that enough will, that's the 100 monkey thing, the tipping point. I think we're at the very verge of that tipping point where the collective oversoul as a whole is essentially going to awaken. Well, anyway, that was a whole lot.
No, that's I'm on the same page with you. It's like the thing about the past and the future and the parallels, and they're all like in the timelines collapse into maybe one singular reality or whatever. But it's like it's a connectivity. That's the way I see it. It's like back to that dream catcher. It's like if I'm in the middle of that dream catcher, all those other shapes and the lines and everything all the way to the very edge is the whole experience, and I can remember all of it. So there's something about remembering it all that for me that validates through the experience of actually being aware of it or understanding it, that connects everything. Like it's all connected. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's like it's so if you know it's all connected, then it alters your behavior, basically. I mean, it alters your behavior because I think Morgan said it the other day. We went through some shifts. We went through a shift together and then observing people. And it was like, you know, like I was feeling like something, right? Feeling like pain. And then she was like, I could feel your pain. And so what she came out of it with was anything we do to another, we're doing to ourselves, basically, but not just words, actually feeling it, you know, actually knowing it. It just alters your behavior, I think. I think that's maybe what that tipping point is that we're sensing is it will affect everyone, you know.
I think that's absolutely, and even the word remember, it's like joining the members back together.
Yeah.
And that to me is so important. Like that's like what the Song of Coming Home is about. It's about we are the disclosure. It's our awakening to all of our memories. And it's not about, yes, it's important. I don't like the saying, in a way it works, just a story. It can be good in a way to help break out from the ego's attachment and identification, particularly with victim mode.
Yeah.
So that serves. But I also don't really like the saying dismissive, it's just a story, because in the end, they're all beautiful stories in the end, and they're all really important. It's part of our whole collective memory and gathering that has brought us to this moment and will carry forward. And it's the connectedness. And I think that's one part or a big part or one aspect of what so many people are going through with this and the intensity of it, and would be difficult at times, that's what I've seen in these months and weeks particularly, is that I don't know time, I got no idea what time anymore. Weeks or months ago, I saw a huge shift in the collective grid, and what I got was that we'd essentially broken the code of the matrix that had held us in separation from our collective consciousness actually working together. And suddenly it was like we were all connected again. But then you have to like learn how to deal with that and process that and filter all of that.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, all of the rest, all of the multidimensionality. And I think more and more too, in the end, it's almost like a rush, and it can get crazy and intense. But I think also there's a point where, and I think it's fast getting there, and I'm sure you can relate, and I'm sure many people out there can relate. The point of popping to me is almost, it's the point where something in you just can't try and control it anymore. It can't manage it anymore. There's so much in your awareness. There's so much coming through that part that wants to somehow try and control and manage it all, and it just can't cope anymore. Something lets go. Some thread just, and then there's still more layers. There's still more, but that essential change, as you said, once you really experience that actual oneness, that full connectedness of like all it is as a living direct experience that doesn't leave again.
Yeah.
It changes you. And I was going to say, whether you like it or not, whether there's it's like it has its own momentum, and the parts of you that are still there in resistance to clear and all that, they might be still coming along, kicking and screaming and fighting and getting dragged.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of what we're experiencing too.
Yeah. And because it's stained now too. It's actually, it's stained. So it's like you said, I think I wrote one time on a meme, it was all roads merge into one, whether you like it or not. So, you know, it's like, yeah, I mean, it's I surrender. I remember about a week ago, Morgan told me, I said, I feel something coming, but it was a personal kind of deal. And I think she got the intel even before I said that. She said, I think you do yourself good by just saying these words a lot over the next few days. I surrender. Yes, please. I surrender. And that's what I've been doing. You know, even that's what I was doing half an hour ago in the car when I was getting that. I thought, what is this? You know, what is this? And I could feel it in my heart, and I could feel this information coming in, and I was picking up bits and pieces of it, like you know, had to do with the seeding of the earth, and how we're all hybrids, you know, how we're made up of everything, because that's what the earth is. It's just whatever. I don't know, this great experiment. All this stuff was coming in, and I knew it was pure, and I knew it was all good, and this impending in a positive way, but almost scary, of this thing about to explode. You know, I mean, it would only make sense. It would have to show itself in the external experience that we share, if it's occurred within ourselves, and enough of us, you know, it would have to.
Yeah.
As within, so without. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, exactly, you said it, because out there, all of it is nothing but a reflection and manifestation of consciousness.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And it's definitely centered in our own experience, because that's where everything happens, at the ground level, you know, like our fears of paying the bill, or our fears of, you know, someone, you know, being attached or resistant to someone or something, and all these other things that have been playing out, that the self-judgment that's been appearing in front of our face over and over again, so that we will accept whatever imperfections we have, and all these things just like louder and louder and louder and louder. And I think that's, to your point, why some people, like including myself, have said over the last few days, man, you know, this stuff came in, and I'm purging and I'm vomiting, and you know, whatever the case is, because like somebody's been saying, or somebody was saying about to go through the eye of the needle. Dr. Joe Delaney said, you know, you can't take that Santa Claus bag of goodies with you if you're trying to go through the eye of the needle. You got to leave that crap behind, you know.
Yeah, for the camel to go through the eye of the needle, it's got to lose some humps. I mean, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And so it was like, and I thought about this the other day. We were talking about it, her and I, and we were talking about, we just went through a gateway, you know, and because we woke up in bliss, and I think a lot of people were feeling it. And then all of a sudden, the shit came, and so then I was like, well, maybe or she might have said it, I don't remember. It's like, maybe we're having to clear all this stuff. Maybe the gateway's open and we're not gone through it, and we got to clear it before we can go through it, which would make sense. Because it's been a fast, furious few days, definitely.
Yeah, yesterday there was a level of physical, I kind of woke up with this flu thing back on me, but that's all energetic too. And then I could feel the huge, I don't need to go and look at the Schumann charts to know when that's going off the scale, because this whole solar plexus.
Oh, yeah.
But there was such a, I said to you just before we actually went live, I think that there was such a deep, intense, deep purging of so many different lives connected in that we're clearing out. And I didn't need, I mean, if I need to, I will, but I didn't need to go into the particular story of any one of them.
Yeah.
It was just like experiencing that clear out. But I was also really, which is what's kind of rare for me, but you know, it's in there. And then there's also the collective stuff. But even my own individually, it's like, wow, looking at the stuff that was coming up of, because I think that's what so many are struggling with too. It's really difficult. It's almost like we're in between, we're the bridge. It's like we're getting squeezed. We're merging between the old matrix and the new. And sometimes it can feel like you're trying to dance in two worlds and you're failing to dance in either one. Like trying to dance and operate within the 3D matrix can be just crazy insane sometimes, some days, depending on energy and where you're at. So there was this sense of almost like, which was really surprising. It was like an energy or a program of self-worth stuff of I'm a failure as a human being and I'm a failure as divine. It was like, the opposite of being a divine human being. It was like somehow I'm failing to function even on the most basic levels to physically go and do stuff here in my own life. But somehow yesterday it was kind of like, and I wasn't buying into it. I wasn't caught in it, but I was well aware of that within me in the field rising up. And it was such a steep, there was such a energy to it. And I really felt like, yeah, this isn't just in me, it is, but I'm also really, this is what's coming up and out and getting cleared in the collective. And there was a lot of fear and trepidation in the collective too, which is understandable. It's kind of like they're feeling the world dissolving around them, almost like the carpet's getting pulled out from under their feet.
Yeah.
But I mean, even those, I don't like to categorize, but let's say even those that are a bit more awakened or aware of what's actually going on, it could be nuts and intense and crazy. What about for all of those that don't consciously aware? I mean, relatively, at the higher level, they're all awake and enlightened beings and they know exactly what's going on. But at the relative level of the human ego self, man, all they know is things are falling apart and dissolving and not working the way they worked anymore, and they're getting squeezed and all of that. But no wonder they don't even maybe know what's going on, or that there's great change or what's wonderful on the other side of it. And it's kind of like, no wonder there might be so much fear and trepidation. And it really is kind of like some of them are hanging on tightly for the devil may know. And even within myself, I could say there's parts within me that are still in resistance, that are coming up to clear, that are still hanging really tightly to the devil they know rather than the angel they don't.
Yeah, I hear that. I got over here and well, we were gifted a car, right? So I had to go get insurance, and then they said, "Oh, your driver's license is expired." Well, I hadn't owned a car in years, so it was 10 days expired. So then I had to get my birth certificate sent, and I went back down, and I had the letter from my Social Security card. I didn't have my Social Security card. So like, we can't give you one. You got to get a Social Security card now. So anyway, long story short, I had to go to Social Security, tell them where my address is. I had to go get a driver's license. I'm like really feeling weird about, like re-entering the matrix, or I don't know what what it was exactly, but
the matrix dance.
Yeah, then at the same time, I was kind of like, okay, it actually felt pretty good. I don't know, man. It's like this dual message in everything, which I think is what you're talking about, being the bridge, the human hybrid soul maybe it is the bridge, and maybe that is another layer of the human is the hero, and the fact, like you said at the top of the show, that the range of emotions we go through in the star family, worlds is this is a very unique and unusual scenario. I mean, that makes sense to me. A very dense, no memories, kind of experience, and then to actually take that and transmute it, transform the species from one species to another. As I read in the dictionary one time under the definition of transmute, there's a biological definition said that when a species transforms itself from one species to another, I guess like a caterpillar to a butterfly.
I think that's the best and most simple analogy, and I don't know that it's ever really been done before. It's certainly not exactly in this way, and even it's pure tantra. That the word tantra ultimately just means transformation. Alchemy is transformation, transmutation, and to me that's what it is. We're literally making a quantum leap jump in a species. I mean, almost from one species to another in a way. I mean, really, it's an evolution of a species, but it's such a jump. But it nobody knows what it looks like, and
That's very true, and that includes those aspects of the you, me, we, and it that are not on this planet in physical incarnation. I don't think they know.
Well, no, that, I mean, it's really okay. It's really funny because then this is where you get into the absolute and the relative, and you get into outside linear time and inside linear time. So it's, again, this seeming paradox, but it's not actually at all. But I had this thing of almost like there's us that in a way came back from the future in a sense. And as I said, our past meeting our future, it's like we're already there. We've been there. We know in a way what it looks like. It's already done. And yet in another way at the same time, that's kind of true. And it is. But at the same time, seemingly paradoxically, but it's actually not to me.
Yeah.
We're making it up as we go along.
Yeah.
It's somehow both. It's already there. We can feel it and see it. It's tangible, but I might not see and know many of the details. I know it energetically. It's real. It's tangible. It's becoming more and more absolute tangible in this reality.
Yeah.
But I don't know the details, and I don't need to, because that's the discovery of the magic in the moment, of the unfolding and the creating. And how boring would it be if it was all written in stone and a complete template and set up and we knew?
Yeah.
It's there in essence. That's a good way to put it. I feel like it's all there in essence, but now we're dancing it awake into form.
Yeah.
And when we're literally all co-creating, and that's what we're doing, and that's where the magic is, and we're all coming together. And that's what I like, what Vera was talking about too, about you guys were talking about what's coming through, the way it's all changing, the way we work with individuals, with groups, that I think there's going to be, and that's something I'm being prompted and bit downloaded and prompted to do this recently with a soul sister I met recently, who I'm pretty sure is live there watching now. She's got 2 sick kids at home today. So hi Melinda, if you're there, I hope you're doing good. But we just met a few months ago, and it was that, again, instant absolute, this person. There's just instant absolute rapport and connection, and you speak the same language. And we both just somehow knew, like, we're meant to be working together, and we're sort of bringing through it's sort of like we're still fine-tuning the essence. We haven't got the exact format or thing, and a lot of it will just happen on the day, in the moment. But basically what I got the essence of it from wanting to try and put some words is basically like soul key activation groups.
Yeah, soul key activation, yeah.
And what I got strongly was just small groups to start with, just here, maybe 4 or 5 people. These people just going to come, and it's not at all about, I mean, it is about codes, but it's not about, me and her, we have these codes you need.
Yeah, or like instructing people. It's not about instructing.
No, it's about
direction. Yeah.
It's about we have some
Recognition.
parts, and we're more just like prompted, and then they'll come, and together we galactivate one another. That's what we do as human beings. That's what Soul Family and the whole group, the whole humanity does, is we activate one another, and nobody has all of the pieces in them. And it's like, you know, the old song, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates, you've got a brand new key. You know, it's like our parts come together, and that's where the unity is, in the diversity, it's in the individuality. And I just have this sense that I can see and feel it, that there's many people all over the world, those already doing work, already doing groups, and there's going to be a lot of new ones like us that somehow are just prompted to just begin, not even know exactly what they're meant to be doing, but I got clearly that they're completely ripe and ready. These people are already there. It's just in the coming together that something else gets activated to another level, and they're there, and then it's like a fire spreading. They're going to then go and start their own groups and their own people. And I mean, we do this all day, every day in life anyway. You know, we interact in the supermarket, whatever. But I do feel that there is an actual, some sort of, the word process. I don't know what the format is. I don't know it's a process. I think it's very alive, or linear, organically being co-created.
It's like a virus. It's like a good virus. So
yeah, a good virus. That's right. Anyway, I just somehow have the.
I think you know, I think it's a lot of it's what you were talking about with this lady, recognition. It's recognition, you know. So if I meet you and I see you and pick up on your energy, there's things I recognize in your energy that does something to me. You know, it activates something in me. That Kundalini energy, the chi, you know, I think that's what a lot of it is. And maybe that's where we get back to the dual meaning, or the multiple meaning of the word remember. You know, remember and then remember. You know, as opposed to having to learn something. I don't think that's. I think this is part of the new. I'm having a difficult time because I'm getting bombarded with. I think your team is bombarding me.
And that's why I'm sorry for these big long randall. I shouldn't say sorry, I'm starry, but you know, there's so much wanting to come through, and then I just like. I
think that's what needs to happen. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with me asking what they're trying to say to me? Because it's not one, and they seem.
It's a co-sharing. I mean, that's I'm more like I'm a bit like that. I can be a bit like a train, and then there's a whole lot involved, and it has to all be, and then it's done, and then I shut up because I want to listen. I'm happy to hear, and it's
so it's like so you're going to because what I'm getting right now is like a huge, I say huge, I mean, I don't know how many there is here. There's like, I don't know, 40, 50, all different colors and kinds and, you know, all that. And they're like extremely happy and cheering, elated, you know, elation. And so I don't know, can you connect? Can you, whatever? I mean, I don't know, you're going to do a song, light language, or just connect and spit something out, because it seems like that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, they're pumping me, and you know, and there's a whole lot. I mean, it's everyone everywhere. It's all of it, really. And it's not even when I say my team, I mean, it's not just like, oh, just my team.
No. It's
more just.
Well, you know what? Now that I look at the number here, 50. And I said 40 or 50, it's everyone here. That's what it is. Okay, I'm getting this. All right. So it's everybody here, higher aspects, all connected in this space, you know, that I call Soulogy. That's just another name for the you, me, we, and it. And so there's something happening, and you're on stage now. So you're being broadcast into the cosmos. So if it resonates with you, do whatever you feel, whatever comes through, you know.
Wow. It's what I've been doing. I'm just feeling into it. I mean, yeah, there's my beloved Liam and the lion beings. They're always there. And a whole lot more, the dolphins, the whales, there's a whole lot. Yeah, there's a big party. There's a
Yeah,
big party. And there has been lately, as you said, the key words, celebration, cheering, like this is the time of the gathering and the celebration. And they're like,
that's
as
it.
others have said, and viewers said, you said, it's like, we got this. It's already done. It's already done. We're doing it in the last part of actually dancing awake this dream into reality.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, this is Natalie Gotcha was just on a minute ago, and she said after the a minute ago. I have no concept of time anymore either, but so she said the last time we did a show, I made up my mind to go into this routine. She said, and but the thing is she like used the words to find her courage and her strength, and I get in that too. Like this is a time to reach down all the way, and to I don't want to use the word defy the matrix, but this has been coming to me over and over again. The lawless laws, the ruleless rules, there are no borders, and I think the borders thing is more than just the borders of countries and communities, but the borders between us. There are no borders between us, that's that connectivity. But when I was in the car a minute ago, this just came back to me too, back to what you were saying a second ago. You just opened it up. So it was like, there was a plan. That doesn't mean predestination. That doesn't mean, but it feels very familiar because what I was shown in the car was like this loop. We tried it this way and it was Mu and Lemuria, and we tried it this way. It was Atlantis. We tried it this way. We tried it this way. And so we came back to the same point every time, like a deja vu. They talk about a deja vu as a point. I don't know if it's true, but it's a point where you take a different direction than what you did before. So maybe that's the familiarity, it's like the merging of what's familiar and what we can remember and what we don't know, which is what we're doing. We're the don't know. We're the unknown. We're the X factor, right? So.
I call it being in the knowing of the unknowing.
Yeah.
And that's where actually the true liberation lay. The liberation lay in the trusting of the not knowing, in just the letting go.
Yeah.
In the flow. And then you realize it's not just, that's something coming to say. A lot of people talk about, actually, I don't know who it was earlier, if it was Vera or Natalie, but I hear this a lot and I get it. It's like about getting out of the way.
Yeah.
But some years ago, but this is a point that really prompted me on it. So some years, and there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. And I know that the way you guys mean it are the way that I'm going to say this, but still I'm prompted to say this. So some years ago, I was playing with one of my dear soul sisters. Well, it was the first night I played. She ran the open mic night. Andrea Kerwin, if you want to look her up, her music is unbelievable. Her soul is beautiful. And she was hosting the open mic at one of the cafes in Bega, in the main town here. And I went along to play and I got up and played a couple of songs. And when I got down, her and her partner, Claire, who's one of the most in tune psychic earth mother goddesses I've ever met, got down and they were both like, wow, that was just amazing. Like we totally felt your soul just came through. Like just came. And I kind of said, oh yeah, well, like, I guess I've never had a lot of ego involved in my music. And I guess that's what it's about. It's about just spirit and soul coming through. I managed, I guess, enough to get out of the way to let that come through. And Claire looked at me and she said, yeah, I used to say that. And a few months ago, she said, a friend of mine, when I said that, said to me, yeah, but it's not about getting out of the way. It's about becoming the way.
Yeah.
And that might sound like a subtle difference or playing on words, but there really is a whole energetic difference. It's not about it. That's the separation still of our ego self, trying to get rid of it, it's like, no, it is the integration and full embodiment, including that of ourselves. And it's allowing that part of us that will resist, let's say, our divine calling or our prompting or the impetus or the flow of the all, which serves, and see, even that service to self or service to others, goes out the window. That's still a duality. In the end, there's just, and I don't even think the word service fits. There's just service, and it serves the all, which includes this one too. Yeah. But anyway, I'm rambling.
No, that was good. That was good.
But there's something, anyway, that's for those to feel into.
There's something happening right now. I'm stepping up. I don't know what's going on. I'm just surrendering.
I feel like my image of it all is like a gigantic, a kaleidoscope. Mm-hmm. And you know how there's just a kind of a jumble of fractals. There's no pattern to it. And then you turn it just that little bit, and suddenly there's this incredible, like, Mandelbrot or whatever, like, fractal pattern. And I feel like we're collectively opened up enough. We're kind of open to all of it now. Like, it's all there. All of our multidimensionality, all of that awareness has come back online. And it can be a bit overwhelmed. And it can be a bit like, it can look at times at different days and feel like complete and utter chaos and this incredible tearing and tension. But I feel like we're just that tweak away from that kaleidoscope turning just that, I don't know, the cosmic cogs, planets lining up. I don't know what it is. It's us.
Man. I know. It's trippy. I was looking at was it last night? I can't remember anything. Yeah, it was last night. I'm looking at the stars and I saw the geometry. I'm like, and I hadn't even seen some of the stuff I was looking at. I was seeing everywhere I looked, there was these different, and then I got this message, the sacred geometry that has worked, will no longer work. There's a new one. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? But I get it. I get at some level, I get it, but
yeah,
it's I don't know.
It's all new. It's like there's nothing new under the sun. When there's nothing new under the sun, it's time for a new earth and a new sun. And then everything that was old becomes new again. And all that doesn't serve, all that isn't frequency specific, all that's still in division and war and conflict and separation and judgment can't exist within the new frequencies. That's what's getting filtered out and squeezed out as we move through.
Yeah, that's right.
But then it's not chucking everything. And this, to me, what you said earlier about is not about, and you said yourself, it's not really about, another word you said, not about dissing or destroying the matrix. And I'm like, yeah, we're transmuting it. We are transmuting that. It's like the organic matrix, the natural way of our being, the organic, it's already there. It always has been. But now we're bringing it into this reality, and the old one is somehow dissolving and merging into that. And somehow, to me, it very much is about the merging rather than somehow the jumping out of or the dismantling of. Yeah. It's somehow more like a merging. And as I said, the merge is the purge. So anyway, you got that. I don't need to say more on that, but yeah, that.
I just got. There's a bunch of funny people talking to me right now. I am not high. I've not been drinking. I'm going through a transformation. While we're sitting here talking, I can feel it. They said the body's the matrix. The vehicle is the matrix. So like our body's converting. Oh, what it was, I lost it now. But so yeah, so as within, without, right? So that's, I think, okay, this is what we were talking about earlier. What's happening in the collective, what's about to occur. I don't know how to say this, but that the body is the matrix, and therefore the conversion of it, the transmutation, you said it, the transformation of it, not leaving something behind and dissing anything. No, it's not. You're right. That's really what it was. Yeah. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, it did, and I'm the same, because it's like, I'm almost like, I wish I was here, because that's what even I do. And this is what we do. This is what we all do. Even there's something coming through. It's awakening and remembering within us. It's download and upload. There's something coming through, and it's like the point of what they're wanting to focus our awareness on, to bring that part of the code, those codes in. Yeah. And there is a part of actually speaking it into it's some level where we can, some sort of form, bringing into the form of words and concepts, even though we don't really have the words and concepts.
Yeah.
But at some level we focus, and then it's like, I know, I can feel it. I know exactly, as soon as you said the body matrix, but I don't have the right words to say it any clearer than you do.
I know.
But somebody will, but somehow it's already gone out into the collective and is running through the code. So
well, and there is something about saying things, or even attempting to saying things. Even if you can't do it justice, it works. You know, it works. It's like you said, the souls come together. It's not the instruction. It's just the code exchange, looking at each other in the eyes. You know, versus I know what's going on. I'm cool. Everything's fine. I know how to do this. Listen to what I'm saying. Bullshit. That shit just don't work no more.
No, it's just it's soul-versation. It's a live conversation, and that's what I love. It's like I knew they were all lined up. There's something, but I have no idea what's going to come through, and I know it's a co-creation. It's not about just what's coming, and that's the thing. It's like we're both here, kind of like, hey, brother, I know you. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't know either.
What's coming through? Let's see what happens in the moment, and that's the beauty of it, and that's the magic, and that's when we connect just straight from our hearts. That we don't have an agenda. We don't have a, we all have our knowledge. We all have a knowing. We all have a perspective constantly getting updated.
Yeah,
man. But really, we kind of we know nothing. I think at best, what I call the knowing of the unknowing. If we had that, then we meet together in the moment and go, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Do you?
No.
Let's see what happens. Okay. What I am getting, I don't know if we still have time or not. I've got no idea what time.
We can go over. I'm having fun. My Kundalini's tickling me all over.
I'm like,
if anything happens.
And the laughter is good. Let's bring in the laughter. That's so magic.
Yeah. I'm having this sensation. If anything happens, at least you can only see me from the shoulders up.
Right, I do have an effect on people, man.
Oh shit, man! Oh my god!
What I'm getting, and they've occasionally been prompting me throughout, and when they prompt me enough and keep me up the bum, I'm kind of like, okay. So what I'm getting, and it came from, I got this saying earlier when something you said, and I'm like got the saying like, yeah, in the matrix all roads lead to Rome. But in the organic matrix, all roads lead to home.
There you go.
Even though my throat's pretty claggy and all of that, so I don't know how I'll go. But I am getting prompted, and I had no idea I was going to do this. I didn't think I would with my throat, but I am getting prompted to sing the song of Coming Home.
I was just going to say that, okay? I was just going to say that. So, have you ever seen that show Teletubbies? You ever see that?
I know of it. Probably.
Like one of those, or like I gotta remember all these. My kids used to watch them all. The Teletubbies, or the back when I was a kid, it was the Banana Splits.
Yeah.
I keep seeing all of these beings, and they all look kind of like that. They all look like. I usually don't see them like that. I don't, it's just like all these playful little creatures. I don't know.
Well, that's what we talked about last time. I think you and Morgan and I and others I know had just the night or two before suddenly there was a whole shift, and suddenly there was a whole lot of all other races and beings.
Yeah. And that happened to me. That happened to me.
Oh, you froze. Is that my internet or yours? Oh, we got too high. He'll be back. Come back, Mr. Todd. Earth to Todd. Earth to Todd. Beam down, brother. There you go. Oh,
okay. This is the third show in a row this has happened. I don't know.
Wait, we're hitting the frequency dealing with.
I swear, my computer the Google Chrome just went down. It totally disappeared. Then it popped back up, and then Zoom popped back up.
I got to say something, because when you said Teletubbies, I also thought of remember Mr. Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I often, I don't know why. Like many things, I got no idea. They just, at some point, it just happened. So I started referring at times to myself as Mr. Ged, right? But I'm not disassociating, right? I still have an ego self. It's still here. It's not disassociating, but it's kind of like the loving way of working with the ego self. And I think of it like Mr. Ged. It's kind of like those Mr. Men. It's like sometimes I'm Mr. Grumpy Ged, you know, some days I'm awesome Ged, some days I'm Mr. Shiny, and some days I'm, you know, some days I'm Mr. Divine Rainbow Poop Ged, and some days I'm just a total poop Ged, you know.
Sometimes I'm Mr. Bean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And anyway, that just came to me, but I think that's important, because I feel like that's for me, that's the lightness, the loving humor of our ego selves. They're magic. We created them. You know, they're not our enemy. They've been trying to do a job that they really weren't suited to, and they've been doing the best that they possibly could. And in a way, they were and all of that within that matrix reality world. We did need protection and layers and all of that. But now we're moving back out to where we can look at the ego self and go, it's okay. And this has a lot to do with our divine inner child, to come back into our innocence, to that it's okay.
I think I just had a soulgasm.
Well, I'm really getting
I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing because they showed me something. What is going on here? Okay, so what was that? Let me ask. Let me dial back up. Oh, okay. The one in the pink outfit said, what do you think? The unbearable lightness of being. Unbearable lightness of being. So that's what you were saying. You were saying it's here, it's come in, it's almost unbearable, right? So when we get uncomfortable, we immediately associate or go to, what do we know that's usually uncomfortable? You know, pain, suffering, these memories and all that. But yeah, that's what I got. I don't think that made sense.
Oh, no, mate, you were completely tuned in, because I actually use those very words at times. I think that I love the movie, but I use those very words. Is that there's a point, it's the dark night of the soul, and you can have more than one. And I think a lot of us have been there or are there on different days where it's almost that unbearable screaming point. The tension is almost like something's got to give. And it's like, but then something shifts. And then in the end, when something really pops, when the most essential part really kind of lets go then the unbearable lightness of being, you discover, is not so unbearable after all. In fact, it's actually full, clear light bliss.
Yeah. It's that, what the fuck's going on, man? Do you know what's happening? That's the unbearable lightness of being. And it's okay, because we can laugh about it.
Yeah.
So you got a song. What's it called?
It's called The Song of Coming Home.
Let's do it.
I never have been very prolific, and always for me, essentially always they come from the universe through me. Yeah. This is the last one I wrote, which is probably, it's over 3 years ago. It was a few months before I popped. And the reason I didn't need to say anything, but I am prompted to say, so this one kind of happened from a whole kind of vision thing I had about the new sun and everything else, and also about this, what you're talking, the essence of what you talk, the connectedness and where we're at now, the whole connectedness thing. But I said I was in a group, in Transient's group, great group of Soul Tribe, and I said it's like I could see, feel, hear it. I could see the fractals, the colors, the sounds, you know, the music of and I said, I can only call it the song of coming home. It was like all of humanity gathering, and all the other beings that are all part of our greater soul family, all of what we're talking about, all of that in the time of the gathering, the time of celebration, all singing their individual note, their individual soul signature being sung, expressed, and all of that together made this one whole greater song of the coming home, and that is the remembering into the coming home, and then rediscovering that bearable lightness of being, of coming home. And I was like, and she was like, oh, Ged, maybe you could put that into a song. And I was like, no. I'm like, maybe Beethoven could have done that. Maybe Beethoven could have all of that into some kind of symphony. I think maybe he did the Ode to Joy, the Ninth Symphony. But I said, I can't. But then what happened was I picked up my guitar, I think an hour later or the next day, and this came through. And I realized that, yeah, I'm no Beethoven, it wasn't the whole symphony and all of that. But what I realized that it was like in this simple, rough Mr. Ged essence version, somehow it brought something of that energy through into the song. And it is a song to be sung with many voices. This is not my song. This just happened to come through me to the universe. So anyway, I don't know why I don't normally pre-ramble about what a song's about.
Okay. Hey, man, this is it. We don't know what the fuck's happening here.
Now I'll probably completely mix it up, and that's fine in the moment. Let's see what we do. I don't know with these cameras and all that, the sound's probably terrible, but hey, let's just see. Hopefully the energy will come through.
Yeah. I think they're filling up the room now. There's things moving around in here. I'm just going to surrender. I surrender. I'm surrendering.
Good enough. Is that sound all right?
Yeah.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully I won't blow. If I'm like, hey! I'm not blowing out.
No, you just do. You do it.
Okay, cool. Let's do it then.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just... I'm not that fussy, but I'm fussy about it's gone out with the sun. Here we go. Begins with a fire rising in your heart. You can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your blood. As you come and join the circle around a sacred fire, you take each other's hands, you dance each other high. Dance upon the earth, feel spirit in the wind. Won't you help each other rise up? Won't you help each other sing? Sing the song of coming home. Sing the song of coming home. Sing the song of coming home. Take each other's hearts and you touch each other's minds, and those memories come dancing down the corridors of time. As humanity awakens, our true history is told. We rise up and sing with one voice. Sing the song coming home. Sing the song of coming home. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah. Song coming home. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah. Song coming home. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey, yeah. Song coming home. Hey, yeah, yeah, hey. the sun coming home. Hey, yeah, hey, sun coming home. Hey, yeah, hey, sun coming home. Hey, hey, sun coming home. Hey, See the sun coming home. Sing the song of coming home. Sing the song of coming home. Sing the song of coming
Damn.
Yosa, Daneo.
Jesus. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, Buddha, Kuan Yin. That was extremely powerful. That's my kind of light language. That's my kind of light language. My kind of light language.
Yeah, when I got that song, because I can say that, because it's not about, how can I say? I have the divine pride, which is beyond ego or humility, beyond pride or humility. We go beyond that. It's just our beingness of what we are. That's the joy. I'm like, I'm in gratitude that somehow, oh, how did that get to be me, that came through? It's not about claiming it and getting your little ego statue and polishing and putting on the thing, but it is about the joy of loving ourselves with that soul. But it's also just the gratitude and the wonder. And it's like, it's not about me.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point.
It's also for me. And I'm kind of like, and that's where I think it's important. That's a part of becoming the way, is all of us, everybody is creative. That's what art is. Everybody is, it's the great equalizer. When you really experience that oneness directly, you see the divine divinity in all beings. You see the divine humanity in all. It's not a concept. It's not a spiritual, I should be nice and wonderful. It's just a direct living reality. And you see that it's the great equalizer. Everybody is an amazing, special, wonderful, beautiful being that has a unique divine soul gifts and expression. So that's what that song's about. It's if anything, I think it's just a calling or a prompt to just hopefully to touch, if anything, that it touches that place in people's hearts, in their own soul, to make them feel that aliveness in themselves and that love for themselves, and to help to free them to express in whatever way, shape or form they're given to express. So anyway, I'm going to hand over.
That's that's it. That's it. You know, it's for you. It's for you, and it's for you, but it's coming through you, right? You know, like today's. I said on the other shows. Today's 8 years ago. 8 years ago is when I woke up. I woke up in crazy style. I was actually 8 years ago incarcerated at this moment. Oh, and then the funny thing is, 4 years ago today, I made the first video ever from Soulogy.One, and it's a minute and 30 seconds. I watched it today. I had to watch it, and there's this guy who looks about 20 years younger. It's only been 4 years, and I don't even know what I said. I said I am soul, you know. Don't never underestimate the power of one unique and equal soul, especially your own. But it wasn't that. It's what you were talking about. I was watching me, and And that's what I was feeling like, wow, I got to do that. It's not about me. I just happened to be the one that did the expression, but it was for me. And I was watching it for me. And I was like, look at this innocent, raw guy. And it just like, you know, he just fucking did it, you know? I think I put something on the post. I think it said something like, this is my first broadcast live. May the gods be with me. I'm going to show my ass or something like that. But yeah, that's what you're talking about. You know, it's to be, and that's what I think for me, like Soulogy is. It's a place where people can come and just be themselves and rant or you know, or express themselves through whatever form of art they want, creativity, tell their stories. They're not crazy because they're around a bunch of crazy people, you know. And it's just like, I don't know what you said, and really what you just did, like that howling that you did. I love to do that, but I don't do it in front of anybody. I usually do it like, you know, out in the middle of nowhere after I've had a couple of beers on a spirit walk. That's my secret. I just gave it away. But yeah, but that's what it is. It's like totally letting go. Totally letting go. Yeah. Oh, we got something fixing to happen.
No, I'm not doing anything. I just got when you come here, brother. We'll grab the drum and we'll go down to Moon Bay or Arroganu or somewhere.
I am coming.
And we'll get you howling.
I am coming. Oh, I'll howl.
We'll howl at the moon together.
I will howl all night long. I think I've done a couple. I'll have to wait till they pop up on the memory thing. No, I don't know, man. It's like who was it the other day? Guys, everyone's over in Australia. Sasha Grace is there. Her musical expression. Natalie Gotchi was on today.
Yeah, Natalie just got back to Melbourne too, didn't she?
Yeah. And then Lanier Holbeck was on the other day. Did you see that one?
Oh yeah.
Shit, man. She's like doing a verse of light language. I'm like, holy, it made it work. But it's these remixes. Yeah, I mean, the force of that song that you just did is very powerful. Very powerful.
It was funny. I didn't realize until halfway through the Soul-versation you had with Lania the other day. I was like, oh, that's right. She was one when the first open mic 5D.
Yes.
Right?
Spontaneous. Well, you know, it's happened. Well, see, like, it's happened so many times. You know, it happened to me in the studio. Of course, I was by myself. But these things would happen. I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? You know, how did I write these lyrics? And I put an instrumental on, I put the headphones on, I turned the mic on. And when I said the last word, the last note played. Like, how does that happen? And then the next thing would happen. Then the next thing would happen. And then it's things like when Sasha came on and she's like, I'm going to do this song. I'm like, okay. She goes, you do a rap in the middle of it. I'm like, okay. And that's the beauty of it, is that spontaneity, no spit and polish. And the same thing happened to Lanier after she came on with you, right? And that
so there were her and there was then, three. Yeah. And they were all amazing. But then I was like, anyway, and then the other day, and I loved that song. She was, oh wow, that song she did. Sorry, keep going.
No, but I'm saying, like, she came off of that, and then next thing I know, I see this post she does, and she says, I haven't played my guitar in 3 years, and I've written a song in 4. And then she puts this song out. I'm like, whoa. So this is what it is. You know,
and that's what I commented to her and said, and she knows that. I mean, she already knows that. I just said, it's like, that's why so many of my songs, my recordings, and I put a bunch of them to pictures some to pictures and stuff. You know, they're there if you just want audio on SoundCloud, but they're there in my photos, video folder on my Facebook page. If anybody's interested, I'm not a musician. I don't post my, you know, like push my music. I'm just like, there's some songs in there from the universe that I think are kind of cool, and for those that want to listen. Yeah. But so many of even when I had, you know, my recording equipment, which was pretty simple, basic, set up and that years ago, so often I just try and record just to capture the song as it's coming through, because so many are lost. You think, oh, remember that, and then later you don't. But so often that first rough take, and often for me, the whole words come sometimes all in one hit stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
And I found that later it would be this rough, unpolished, but it had the energy because you're in the zone at the moment of that coming direct through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd find later trying to recapture that energy, you know, you could get a technically much better recording and all that, but it was like, you could rarely ever.
It's not the same thing, man.
That essence.
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
And that to me was always much more important is the aliveness, the energy itself. As long as the vehicle is okay enough that you can hear the song and get the energy, then that's more important than having the perfect technical recording and not having the life in there. So
yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with that. I remember when I started doing SoulSpeaks and the music videos, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know, I'm just like, they're like, go do it. And I was like, all right. And so then I remember I got like about 7 or 8 or 9 songs into it. And I met this dude on the street. Well, we worked together at a restaurant. Well, we were both on the street basically. So, and, but he was like this profound freestyle rapper. Like just like I'm talking like Drake / you know, some of the, I mean, just like incredible. And so I did this one and he calls me up and he's like, dude, I think you're finally getting somewhere. And I'm like, dude, I don't understand. All those ones are like one take. And he says, and then I try to do them again and I can't do them. He says, when is there a better one? It's always the first take. And I'm like, okay, I got it. And then after that, I wasn't afraid to, you know, because like, you know what? I was doing it for myself. I think now that I think about it, you know, I was just doing it for myself. Like, you know, I don't know.
But that's what I love. I mean, when I first saw you, it was through Unity Grace that you were having a Soul-versation with her. And from the first moment I saw you, again, that was just that absolute instant, oh my God, soul brother. I completely, you know, recognized. So I was already there immediate. But then also what I got and saw was like, and I've never seen you otherwise, is the absolute authenticity, that you're raw and you're real and you're authentic. And that's what you do, you know, in your rap, in the music, but in every conversation you have. Like you, as you say, you've never been afraid to show your ass to hang. And I think that it's that's so important, is that there's no spiritual and non-spiritual.
No.
It's just life.
No.
Dancing with life.
You know, Morgan and I had I got to go in a minute, but you know that Morgan and I had well, we do this every day. So we lock hands and we connect and see what happens. And so we had to, I get them all mixed up now, but this one was asking us to let go of some things. There was a lot of stuff involved. And then something to the effect she got was, are you willing to let go of spirituality? And we got it. We got what it meant. You know, like, this is not a place of spirituality. This is a place of that raw and that authentic. And that's why I've always not, pretty much in 1,000 shows, I've only talked to like 5 people that insisted, let's talk, you know, and it never works. It never works. And so I always tell them, I'll meet you in the studio 5 minutes before. And then I'll wait till like 1 minute before and I'll send them a note. And people will tell you this. And I am rebooting, I'm not lying. I'll say, just a moment, I'm rebooting. But I'm rebooting me. I'm not rebooting the computer. And then when they come on, I'm like, okay, we got to go on now. So that spontaneous is a very powerful thing. This has been a great show. I'd love to do it again soon. I'd love to incorporate you and Sasha and Natalie and Lanier and Universal Brothers Sister Circle and Romeo Barron and his light language rap and do some type of 2-hour open mic, you know, just take turns, you know.
I love it.
You know what I mean? Let's do that. Yeah.
I think and this is part of the whole soul key activation circles, all of it. It's a time of the gathering where people are going to gather all over and there's going to be a lot of co-creation, and that's what we're here for. It's time. We've done the rest. let's do the dance. Now let's play and have fun and with love with one another. Let's show what human beings really can do together when they're connected to the heart and dancing together and not fighting.
Exactly. When they show their ass together.
Exactly.
Okay, I gotta go. Thank you, whoever all these beings were, and making me laugh, and for the Kundalini experience. I have to go change my shorts, and then I'm gonna head out.
Everyone here in the present now, all part of it. Thank you so much.
They are.
Mark.
Everybody is part of it. That's the truth. That's the truth. So you take care. I'll see you soon.
I love to Morgan too. And again, thank you to both of you for all you do and for organizing so much behind the scenes.
Yeah,
it's seen and felt and known.
I think people are starting to get that, because I get the messages every day, and you know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. You know, I'm just telling you. So, all right, I'll see you later. I'm gonna have to go walk off this. I'll see you later.